Hello, my name is Julie and this is Stamp with Julie Baum. I am back now ready to show you Project 3 from Stamp Club, October of 2025. If you need to go back and find Projects 1 and 2, you can find videos for that. This is number 3 and the fourth and final one is also available. Yes, we made 4 projects this month. They were a little bit more simple. And so we did 4 Christmas projects instead of our typical 3 projects, which is what we do normally on a Stamp Club month. So let me show you what we're using. As I've explained, for all 4 projects, we're using the Traditions of Christmas suite. Now, if you choose to get the suite of products, you'll get the 12 by 12 pack of paper. You'll also get both sets of stamps and their coordinating dies. These are available as bundles or just stamp sets or just dies. So if you don't want all of them, you can pick and choose. Otherwise, these are part of the suite, plus some beautiful embellishments. So project 1 and 2, those videos you can find. This is project 3, and it's a very simple and fast tag. So we're using this tag shape, and this is from the Traditional Labels bundle. And I cut out a piece of basic white cardstock with that tag shape. That is what our tag is going to be built on. All right, then there are 2 holly leaf dies, so that makes it fast and easy to cut out your leaves. We are going to be using 2 of those. Then we're going to be using some gold foil. And the gold foil, I wanted to have this kind of pine bough. So for the project, even though this is a very long die and would create a beautiful piece for a card, it was a bit much for our little tag. So as you can see, I used a shorter piece of paper and only cut part of this shape out using my die. So this way I didn't waste a whole bunch of gold foil. I only needed a chunk of this. So I ran this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we can pull that out and then remove the die cut piece from here. I'm just going to gently pull it out. And you can see that we just have a piece of it. All right, here's the whole thing, but we are just using a piece of it, and that's going to be plenty large enough for our tag. You want to make sure that you do pop out any little pieces that are stuck in there after die cutting before you run it through to do another die cut. All right, and this piece we might even trim down a little bit, but I knew that we didn't need that whole long piece. We just needed a portion of it. All right, we are going to be using the stamp that says 2 since we're making a tag. And this time we're going to use Pecan Pie ink, which is kind of going to mimic our gold. All right, so to build our tag, we're going to start with stamping the word 2 up here in this left top portion, right here in this corner, like so. Then we're going to use our die cut pieces to make a nice little focal point here. So this is going to go on here. Now you can decide to trim it down. I don't mind if it hangs off the bottom here a little bit. I probably, well, I don't even know if I mind it hanging off there. I think I'm going to trim it down just a teeny bit, like so. All right, you can determine that depending on your own taste. All right, so this is going to go, there we go. That's how I want it, kind of like that. Let's go ahead and put our glue on here and get this piece in place, and then we won't have to hold it there. It can be stuck down while we add our holly leaves. I'm just adding glue to kind of the larger pieces. I'm not even worrying about those little pine needles. I just want enough on here that it's going to hold. Like so. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add our 2 little holly leaves, and you can position them kind of however you think looks good. Mine are going to go something like this. All right, so again, we can use our liquid glue to attach these. All right, that one is kind of aiming out this direction. And this one is going to come down in this direction. Such lovely, lovely die cut pieces, and they really do look good as your focal point. Look at how beautiful and elegant that is. Now we need to cover this up, and it's a perfect time to use our sequins as little red berries. So we'll pull in those traditional, let's see, we used them on another project. So where are they? All right, I had to go find them in a different bin. If you already watched Project 1, we used these on the Christmas card. This time we're going to reach for just the red ones. All right, this is what a new package looks like. They're called Traditional Sparkling Sequins. And now if you're just making a couple of these, I don't know what you think, but I would recommend using 3 of the larger size. However, because I am using mine for more than one class plus Stamp Club, I need to make really good use of all the sizes and not just run out of the large ones. So you'll see that we're going to use a large, a medium, and a small for our berries, and it still looks wonderful. But again, if you don't have to worry about running out, you might want to just use 3 large ones for your holly berries. All right, I'm going to start with my largest one and get it placed right here. And I'm going to press it down really, really well because it is kind of thick under this because I've got the gold and the green. Then I'll take a medium size one and add it kind of almost overlapping or right next to it. There we go, like that. And then as you can see, another large one would completely cover this, and that would work nicely. But I am going to use, like I said, one of each size. So we've got our large, our small. We'll go ahead and put our medium one here, and we've used the large and the medium. We're going to place the small one here, and you can see that it looks just fine. I'm giving that a really good press. I don't want it to pop off. And there we have our cute little tag. Now let's finish it with a hole punched in the top. And I'm just going to use a real standard size hole punch and get that hole. Now, what I want to tell you is that I was a little bit disappointed. I got over it, but I was a little bit disappointed that we currently do not have any real red ribbon in 1/4 inch. And a wider ribbon to me is often just too hard to work with. I really prefer like 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch ribbon for most projects. And so because we don't have a 1/4 inch real red ribbon, I did have to figure out a different option, and I just went to a craft store and I found some red ribbon that would work for that. So this is not Stampin' Up ribbon. I much prefer Stampin' Up ribbon. I feel like this is really cheap, but for this instance, it's going to work just fine. We're going to use about 6 inches of this. So I'm going to leave it on the spool, measure my 6 inches, and cut it. And then we're going to take both ends, the cut ends of the ribbon together. We're going to feed them from the back of the tag through to the front and grab them. Then before I pull it all the way through, I'm going to use this loop and put my fingers in there, reach through and grab those two ribbon tails and pull them through. Now you do want to be a little bit gentle because you don't want to rip your hole right out of the paper. So you are going to tug at this to make it nice and snug, but you want to be a little bit gentle. I'm even going to hold onto it with this hand and kind of pull tight with this hand, just so it gets nice and snug. Then if you feel like it's too long, you can go ahead and trim it, or you can just leave it long, because at this point you're going to either need to tie it onto the bag or the gift, or you of course could tape it or stick it down. But if these are too long, or like this one is starting to fray a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and snip that one, snip that like so. And there is our super cute and easy holiday tag. Be sure and look for projects 1 and 2 and also for project 4 in these videos marked October Stamp Club October 2025. Thanks for watching.